And we are live. I am here with two very special guests today. You know him, you love him, Brian, aka BDUBS Movie Hub, who is a regular, basically my co-host at this on the channel. So, Brian, what's going on, man? How you doing?
Not much. How's it going?
Good. You know, we're hanging out. We're dealing with the rain here in New Jersey, but you know, better than snow, right?
Yeah, washing away the snow is what, like you said earlier. So
exactly. And we've got a very special guest here today. Jeff, aka John Doe Juggalo, right here. What's going on, man? I appreciate you hanging out.
Man? Yeah, for sure. I appreciate the invite.
Yeah, man, I don't know if I mean, you can correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if we've been on a live stream together, but you were in the chat for the last one. And I just messaged you back and forth and was like, dude, we got to get you on. We've been on other people's channels back and forth, but obviously you're, you know, awesome YouTuber and stuff like that. And I was like, yeah, man, let's actually talk face to face, so to speak. So
yeah, I mean, I watch you guys pretty regularly. I just don't get a chance to comment very often because I'm usually like watching you guys and like working and stuff.
Multitasking, yeah.
Right.
But I was last week. I had free time. I was in there. I was like, oh, let's chat this week. So
no, yeah, it was awesome.
I like what you guys do. You know, I streamed with Brian a handful of times before. So
awesome. Yeah, we've been on Mike's channel like how many times now at this point?
I think I'm a regular on Mike's channel at this point, which is very nice because I started off in Mike's chat too. So
yeah, right. No, he's always reaching out to me to join. Like he asked me to join next Tuesday, but we got Dave's. I think we're on Dave's channel next Tuesday, so I had to skip it. So
we got Dave's, and speaking of Dave's, here we go, Collector Movie Man. Hey,
what's up, Dave?
No love for Brian.
What's up, Dave?
Can I come on in a little bit? Maybe a little bit later. We're trying to. I want to get Jeff into the swing of things. You know, get him. We're gonna have some conversations going back and forth. We've got Luke. What's up, my guys? Hope you're well.
Luke.
Stay long. I'm jealous seeing the bride in a little bit, but I had to stop it and say bye. So awesome, man. I'm excited to hear your thoughts when you do a review or probably a spoiler live stream or something like that. So I love it. Hey, Brian. Sorry.
It's all right, Dave.
So yeah, guys, I mean, nothing on the agenda tonight. I really love these live streams where we just kind of hang out and let the conversation flow naturally. And then I don't have to write a list or do anything. So it's also just being lazy and stuff like that. But I mean, first, real quick, we have always we're going to show off some physical media. I have two here. I know Brian has a lot. Jeff, do you have a few? Do we want to say Brian for last, or what do you?
I got a few things that I've watched. I haven't had a lot of free time to go get a bunch of stuff, but I got a little small pickup, and then I got just some things that I want to show off that I've watched recently. One that I watched a couple nights ago that I may even rewatch just so I can rate it higher.
Hell
so
yeah,
I'm kind of excited to talk about that one. I'll be talking about it on YouTube.
Uh-oh.
Oh, did we lose him?
I think he froze. Oh no!
He froze before me.
Oh no! Oh.
Do we go in the special chat?
Is he the private chat?
You froze. Froze. Okay.
All right. Well, he'll be back.
PC crashed. PC crashed.
There you go.
All right. Well, before we start showing off, we're just we'll wing it, man. It's live. We're gonna make it happen.
This is what happens during live TV. I mean, somebody's watching this on a TV somewhere, I'm sure. So
I think so. Actually, it's funny you're saying that. I'm trying a new thing. It's probably killing my data on my phone, but I don't have the cable. That he's gone. He's gonna refresh and do whatever.
Yeah, he'll refresh it.
I don't have the Ethernet to Mac cable, but I do have my whatever it's called. I do have my router literally right next to me, plugged into my PlayStation. So if I'm streaming, it goes as fast as possible.
Okay, but so maybe you won't freeze today.
Well, maybe I won't freeze. Well, here's the thing. I'm on my phone. I'm using it as like a hotspot or whatever. Oh, he's back.
Sorry about that. It does it like. It does it like every other stream or so, and I streamed last night with Luke and put it in sleep mode. I knew I was getting off work, coming in here and waking the computer up, and it didn't like that today. Sorry about that, guys.
No, mine does it every 10 minutes. We were just talking about that.
We do the when he freezes, we just do the wacky wavy.
You wave the arm. Dave says, "I'm playing you guys on my phone while I do the multitasking." We love it, Dave.
Yeah.
Dave is multitasking. Dave, have you seen real quick the when Brian and I went to see Scream, they have this awesome Project Hail Mary standee, and there's actually like a chair in there. I didn't notice it when I was
so you could sit in it. I don't think I noticed that either.
It's actually, I took a picture of it. I was like, wait, can you sit in that? Like it's actually whatever you call it, functional or something like that. So yeah, but listen, man, Jeff, you're the guest of honor. Do you want to go first with your stuff?
Sure. You guys want to see like my new pickups? I did a
it could be anything.
I took part in the Kino Lorber sale.
Oh, very nice.
Oh, nice. I skipped that sale. I don't know why.
Okay.
I was gonna skip it, but when I was seeing Scream, so I go out of town. If I want to see something at like the XL screens or like the IMAX type screens, I have to go out of town. Well, the theater I go to literally has a Barnes and Noble right next door.
There you go.
And I wasn't going to take part in the Kino sale, but they had a couple ones in there that were cheap, and I wanted to grab them up. Well, I mean, I say cheap, but this one was like $12.
Yeah, I got that one. Yeah,
but Blown Away. I've been on a Tommy Lee Jones kick lately, and I just watched Hunted, and that came from Kino. So I haven't had a chance to even open it yet, but I was pretty excited.
Have you ever seen it?
Now,
have you ever seen it?
No, it was a blind buy.
I watched that so much back in the 90s. It's so fun.
Yeah. Now, my parents may have watched it a lot when I was growing up, so there may be things that are very recognizable as I start to watch it. That tends to happen with a lot of movies for me. But I bought it as a complete blind buy in terms of the fact that I just liked the cast. Jeff Bridges and Tommy Lee Jones. They'll pretty much sell me on anything.
Lloyd Bridges is in it too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Like I said, I just kind of seen that and I was like, wait, half of 25? Well, that's like $12 and it has a slipcover. Like,
that's
okay.
Is that the Blu-ray or the 4K?
It's the Blu-ray. There isn't a 4K of it. So they haven't brought it out on 4K as far as I know.
I think I have.
I didn't see it there.
I don't know. I can't reach it.
I was gonna say if there is, but
hang on, let me see. Hold on.
It's a surprise to me. But then again, that Barnes and Noble didn't have like a lot of good stuff because I had a list of what I thought I was going to get on this sale, and I didn't. Okay, all right. Well,
I haven't watched it yet, but I had to open it because there was a loose disc.
The blue might just do. That's fine.
The blue will be fine.
Features are still here. So.
Yeah, the blue will be fine.
We got Wilkie's Movies and Music. Hey, all. And then
what's up, Corey?
Hey, what's going on, brother?
And then the other one that I grabbed, now this one isn't a blind buy, but I wasn't going to spend $45 on it. So 50% perfect. I finally upgraded Road Trip from DVD.
Nice.
So very excited to check this one out. From my understanding, it's only the theatrical cut on the 4K, but I don't care. That's the way the film was always meant to be seen. So the unrated cut is just like a bonus. Is the way I look at it. I mean, the unrated cut's probably better for this film, but I don't fault Kino for that. But I'm very excited to jump back into it. It's been 5 or maybe more years since I've seen it.
Tom Green guy. So.
No, I hate Tom Green, but I do love that. I do love that movie.
I think this is the only movie I like of him. Like I like with him in it. I sat through Freddy Got Fingered. I don't know if I would ever do that again, even if somebody paid me. I mean, I say that, but I've had people ask me to do watch-alongs on YouTube and say they'd pay me to do it. So maybe
can we acknowledge that
I'm not a big Tom Green guy.
Can we acknowledge that in the universe he was married to Drew Barrymore for like a year or two?
Yeah, that's insane.
It's
one of
really
those
weird.
Like, what?
She must have been going through something.
I don't know.
Well, you know what though? I remember that time. Like I remember that, and he was like the most non-Tom Green he ever was while he was married to her. You know, like he was very like not Tom Greenish.
Well, he just did that. I've been on a documentary kick, and he just did a documentary that I would definitely check out because I just watched. What's his name? Mel Brooks' documentary, and I watched John Candy. So even if I don't know much about him, I'll just maybe throw it on in the background at some point.
I need to see that John Candy one. I heard it was really.
Oh, it was really good, especially now that we just lost Catherine O'Hara. She's in it.
Yeah.
So definitely check that out on Amazon.
Awesome.
Mhm.
And then, well, I got this one. Well, I can't show that one off. Never mind.
He's whispering.
If my daughter's watching, and she might be, because she sometimes just pops in, I can't show that one off.
Oh my goodness.
It's a birthday gift. But
Got it.
Oh, nice.
That's fair.
I didn't know. Let me just tell you, I didn't know that A24 was doing film or doing TV shows now.
Oh,
But they are. And it's an animated show from Amazon Prime. That's a Prime original.
Cool.
Okay, so, interesting.
That'll give enough little details that if you guys see it pop up, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Because I think it's the only show that's like that.
Is it this month, her birthday?
Her birthday is in April.
Okay, cool.
Nice.
Early.
But if I see things, I get them, when I see them.
Yeah.
I didn't even know it existed. I looked at my wife. I said, she watches this one, right? She said, oh, yeah, she really likes it. And I'm looking at the back of it, and it's rated TVMA. And I'm like, wait a second, the 12-year-old watching TVMA stuff? So I need to, check it out, because it might be kind of Rick and Morty-ish, but
interesting.
It's rated TVMA.
No.
And then that's pretty much all I've really got lately. I've just been working so much, I ain't even got time to go on the hunt, which stinks, because that's my favorite thing about collecting physical media is hunting for it. But I've watched some really cool stuff. This one I watched the other night. I got this from my good friend. I think you might know her, Brian. Do you know Allie? She follows Huck, and she's in a lot of those
group chats.
That. Yeah, a lot of group chats and stuff.
Maybe I'm not sure.
She doesn't stream. She doesn't really stream. Her boyfriend is Anthony from Anthony's Horror and More. He's streams with Story a lot.
I've heard of them. Okay, yeah.
Well, they gifted me a few of their movies when they got together and they were purging it. They gifted me this, and it's a made-for-TV movie, Dark Night of the Scarecrow.
I've heard of that.
I have not.
I've heard of that. Oh, I think he froze again. Oh.
I have. Okay, so it's it.
Am I back?
I think
there you are. Yeah, you're back.
I've never heard of it. Brian has, Jeff.
I've heard of it.
Yeah. This movie's awesome. It's from 1982, I think. Yeah, it's like an early 80s movie. Definitely, you can tell it's made for TV. It's horror, but it will not scare you because TV, right? But I thought it was awesome. I dug it. One of the main characters is a mailman, and I just started training to be a mailman, so it just kind of fit in line, and I dug that. So it had a little bit of new, a little bit of extra sauce for me on it. But I think this was done by VCI, and I think somebody just picked this up and released it on 4K. So it's probably got a new release out, because this was the 30th anniversary from, I think, 2018. Okay, and I think there's a 35th out now.
Okay,
but it's a pretty popular movie.
Nice.
Yeah, there's a 4K on Amazon.
Yeah.
Wait, there's a sequel.
Yes, there is a sequel as well. It's one of those TV movies that got a sequel even. So
there's a 2-pack. Yeah, it's they're both 4K. It looks like.
Really?
For $24? Yeah.
Brian's buying it. Add the cart.
I'm gonna add it to my wish list.
It's a lot of fun,
I'm gonna add it to the wish list.
And then, speaking of fun, so to get ready for Scream 7, which I know we'll talk about later, so I don't want to jump the gun on that, but to get ready for it, I watched all the other Screams. That's just what you do when you got a franchise. You kind of rewatch so you can kind of pick apart the new one. But something that goes right alongside Scream for me, I pretty much synonymously have to watch them, and that's the scary movies. So I've been rewatching through these.
Nice.
They're still just as hilarious as they ever were. 2 is still my favorite.
I need to get that.
Let's go.
I'm not really in the camp of you don't need anything past 3, but I understand why nobody wants anything past 3. I think 4 is still decent, and 5 is just jumping the shark.
Yeah.
But
is there a physical release for 4 and 5?
Huh?
Is there a physical release for 4 and 5?
Yes, I actually have 5, but not 4, because I think it was a couple years ago. I was on a live stream with Geeks and Flicks, and we were ranking the scary movie franchise. And so when I went through to rewatch them, you could stream 4 on HBO, but you couldn't stream 5 anywhere. So I bought 5 at that time.
Got it.
And I bought this trilogy, I think last October or something. So I bought 5, and it was the first and only one I owned for a long time, which is very sad. I shouldn't even tell people that.
Geeks and Flicks is good at getting people to buy stuff for their ranking live streams, because I had to buy all the diehards because I was on their diehard live stream when we ranked it. And I was waiting for 4Ks, and we still haven't gotten them. So I ended up just picking up the Blu-rays. I got the first one on 4K, but then I bought the other Blu-ray box set of it.
And even if we get them, Disney, they're gonna trickle them out. You're gonna get 2 on its 25th anniversary.
I'm gonna upgrade them.
You'll get 3 on its 30th anniversary type deal.
Those I'll upgrade to 4K whenever they do. So
they'll be worth it all the way up until 5. I don't know if I'd upgrade 5. I think 5's fine with Blu-ray.
Yeah,
right.
5.
I like Live Free or Die Hard.
That's a good one. That's Live Free or Die Hard.
But I don't recall enjoying 5 at all.
No, 5 is rough. That's what I have.
5's rough. Yeah.
I need to get the collection because I only own Live Free or Die Hard. That's the only one I own.
Oh, really?
I need to get. Well, when it came out, Blu-ray was still a new format. And I was heavy into Blu-ray buying like everybody is nowadays with 4K. So new releases, I was just grabbing them. And I'm like, well, don't bring Die Hards out later, because I think Live Free or Die Hard came out on Blu-ray before any of the other Die Hards before it did, because it was a new release.
Yeah, maybe.
And I never went back and bought the trilogy or the 4-pack or now 5-pack. So, but they're great. I mean, and with Bruce Willis, I mean, they're going to milk anniversaries out of 2 and 3.
100%.
Easy.
Yeah.
And I'm here for it. it. Well, the last one I want to talk about, and I just really want to gush over this. So I was in my local record store with Bob from Bob's Blu-rays. You guys know that fella?
I've not talked to him, but I do know of him. Yeah.
I took him to my local watering hole, and he pulled this movie off the shelf and said, "I don't know why it's here and not at your house." And I didn't watch, and this was about a year ago, and I feel so bad because I finally watched it like 2 nights ago, and I rated it a 4 out of 5 only because of some of the some of the marital inconsiderabilities, I guess. But there's nothing of it in there. It's just kind of how I felt, but I might rate it better. But that's Scenic Route. I don't know if you guys have seen this.
I have not. Josh Duhamel.
Yeah, Josh Duhamel and Dan Fogler. Dan Fogler is he was in Balls of Fury.
Oh, okay.
The big guy from Balls of Fury. Yeah,
he's in some Harry Potter spin-offs too, I think.
Yes. He was in Fantastic Beast, and then he was also in Take Me Home Tonight.
Oh, dude, that's a good one. Yeah.
Now he is the comic relief in this film.
Okay.
But there's not very much comic to be had. Like there's no comedy really to be had here. So it's these two friends that have kind of grown apart in a few, and Josh, his character has gotten married and all that. And Dan's character is basically like living in his car. But they're going on this road trip to kind of like reconcile their friendship, their long lost friendship, and all this. And they break down in the broke guy's truck. Okay. Because he's got kind of like an older truck. And they break down on this strip. I don't know. They don't exactly say where, but I'm sure it's somewhere like Montana or something. Like it's in the middle of nowhere in the desert, where I think this movie takes place over like the span of like 3 days, and only one car passes them. So this is about these two guys being broke down and basically going through like heat stroke apnea and going crazy on each other and having the time of their life, but not in the best way possible. If you think it could go wrong when you broke down in the desert, that's what this movie is. It's only 95 minutes. It's edge of your seat the whole time. And I don't like to admit it too often, but at the end of this, as a grown man, there were tears running down my face.
Hey, man.
They were, and they were not, and they were. I won't say that I was sad. I was more just. I was in shock, probably, but by the time you get to the end of this film, I just say it leaves you in shock.
I'm glad your buddy suggested it, right?
I'm very glad he suggested it, and I'm gonna keep trying to pass it along to everybody else.
Yeah, so, that sounds interesting. So
yeah, it's very good. It's not, you don't really see these two dudes doing this style of movie, so I wasn't expecting it to be what it was.
Right.
I was expecting it to be like this buddy comedy type thing. All we're lost in the desert, and it's kind of the complete opposite of that. But it's like I said, I rated it like a 4 out of 5 because he's talking about some like infidelity type things when they're doing their buddy talk, and I don't really like that in my films. As a married man, I don't respect that type of stuff, but I want to watch it again, and I might actually give it a 5 out of 5 because if I go through and I watch it again, some of that conversation that rubbed me wrong might have rubbed me wrong for the right reasons.
Right.
By the time I got to the end of the film. So this might actually be close to a perfect film in my opinion. And I don't say that too often. I am a lot more forgiving than some people, but I mean, I can't believe it took
you sold me on it. So
I can't believe it took me 13 years to find it.
Right. And then a year to watch it because you bought it and waited
a year to watch it. Yeah.
Nice. Well, we've got Jane Dolett, 1771. I love the lion. That's my favorite animal. Good evening, fellas.
You said her name right. Everybody calls her Jane Doe Latte. That's my mom. It's Jane Dolett. It's Jane Dolett.
Hi, Nikki.
Let me selfishly, Brian, I'm gonna take next because I only have 2.
No, go for it.
So I'm gonna do this real quick. So I met up with my buddy, one of my best friends since middle school, this weekend, and we got to on Saturday we got to go out, hang out. We went to like Dave and Buster's and did all this stuff, and it was so much fun because I don't see him that much because he doesn't live in the state. But real quick, he from my wish list got me the 2 things that I wanted. And first up, we were going with Purple Rain on 4K. Oh my goodness. Listen, the slip cover, this thing came out maybe a year or so ago. And so the fact that I still got the slip cover from Amazon is pretty awesome. I do have it somewhere over here on Blu-ray, which has the purple Blu-ray case instead of a blue Blu-ray case. And listen, Prince, we love him. You know, one of the best musicians of all time. Who else played 27 instruments? Rocked the 80s. So cool with the motorcycle and everything. And
Dave's not gonna like this, but Prince is better than Michael Jackson.
Yeah, Prince. Well, it's different because Prince played the instruments and Michael Jackson danced. So it's hard to rank them on a scale and stuff like that. But
I gotta separate them guys, Brian. I don't know how I feel about that.
It's hard. It's really hard.
I love Prince.
I mean, you know what? It's one of those things where it's like if you ask who's your favorite between the 2, there's no wrong. There's no wrong answer.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. No,
It's like if
I don't fault people at all. Yeah.
Right. It's like when people were saying like Stones or Beatles because they're both rock and roll bands, but they're different. Sort of. But yeah. So this one I'm really excited to watch on 4K. And I'm actually gonna wait a little bit. I know that he passed away 10 years ago in April, so I'm gonna review this.
I can't believe it's been 10 years.
Yeah, it was April something, 2016. So it's been 10 years, and it's absolutely insane. I have the vinyl of this as well, but I'm really excited to check it out. Apollonia in 4K. Listen, guys. Oh my goodness, stunning, absolutely stunning. And then right here we've got a James Mangold. What about Logan, guys? Logan on 4K. You know, I just didn't have it, or no, I think I do have it on Blu-ray. I have it on Blu-ray, but we got to upgrade it on 4K. After watching a year ago when we got Deadpool and Wolverine, I was like, I haven't seen this one since pre-COVID, like 2018, 2019, something like that. And, you know, James Mangold just, you know, I mean, let's not talk about Dial of Destiny, but let's talk about Logan, and let's talk about Girl Interrupted, and talk about all the other Copland, right? Help me out here, Brian.
Yeah. Copland is fantastic.
He's an absolute genius, and I'm sure this is going to look amazing in 4K opposed to the Blu-ray, but, you know, all the blood and guts on there. So that's it. Just 2 quick ones my buddy got for me, and I'm very grateful. So
nice.
Yeah. So what do you got, Brian?
I have 2 stacks, and it's just because I haven't put anything away yet. I'll hold this stack up because I did a video for this. So if you want to see it, what's in this stack,
Zoom in. Yep.
Go watch my video.
Oh
This
my
is
god.
Ooh, you got Killing Blood. You got Killing Blood.
It's
was that a Hamilton book?
No, horror pack.
Okay.
So they did they're having a sale, and it was like they have a bunch of Blu-rays for like $3.99, $4.99, and then there's a $40 mystery bag, and that was this is the one you were talking about.
Yeah,
this one, right? Yeah, this was in the mystery bag, and I haven't seen it, but I love a good vampire movie, so I'm hoping.
Yeah, it's a decent B vampire movie.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to checking it out because I don't know how it would be, but yeah, I did a full unboxing for that, so you go watch that.
So go watch
but
it.
I will show off.
Is it up now?
Yeah, it went up on Tuesday. Got 100 views in like 24 hours. I don't know, like
nice.
what. That was like that was like the fastest I've ever gotten a video to 100 views.
Yeah.
But here I'll show off. I think I may have showed off some of these already on Luke's, but I got the new Silent Night, Deadly Night Steelbook at Walmart. It comes with like the slipcover. I got Nightcrawler. I don't know if I showed this one off or not.
Ooh,
cool.
And then these showed up. Corpse Bride.
Oh yes, awesome.
Steelbook. I don't know if I showed that one off. Finally, long delayed Sisu Road to Revenge showed up. And then I got Hamnet, which I'm gonna watch this tomorrow because it's up for Best Picture, and I try to watch all the Best Picture nominations. So I got that one, and then I watched this one last night, Begonia. This movie is wild. Have either of you seen this?
No.
This movie, the first two-thirds is a little slow, but the third act is so fucking good. Like
it just goes for it, huh?
Oh, like yeah, and Jesse Plemons,
I like him.
He's got to be one of the most underrated actors right now. He's so good. Emma Stone's fantastic in anything she does, but Jesse Plemons, like I don't know how he didn't get nominated for Best Actor. He was so good.
I don't know how he doesn't get more like lead roles.
Yeah,
I liked him. I don't know if he was in anything before, but the first thing I remember him in was Breaking Bad.
Yeah,
he was in before Breaking Bad. Friday Night Lights, the TV show. He was in that.
I didn't watch that.
Yeah,
but
that's what I remember from originally.
I've liked him in everything I've seen him in since, but he's always in bit roles. So I'm hoping this is like his step into being a leading man.
You're talking about his bit roles though. You look at him in Civil War. Well, he's in that movie for 5 minutes. He steals the movie.
Yeah,
like he's so good. So, but yeah, this is. I highly recommend checking it. I gave it 4.5 stars. It's a little slow to start, but it's really good.
I feel like he's I probably said this before. The Yorgos Lanthimos is like you either love him or hate him.
Yeah,
and I saw last one. I was like, this is the weirdest. I can't do it. The one before that she won her. It's basically like Frankenhookery. The one that came out before.
Poor Things.
Yeah.
Poor Things is long and weird. I think I even said it in my Letterboxd review of this. I just called him like a weird son of a bitch.
It's very strange.
But he's brilliant. Like it's so good.
Yeah. Nice, man.
So, but yeah, I think everything else I showed off on previous streams. So
cool.
We'll go through all of them.
Yeah.
Be here all night.
So we're gonna dive in real quick with the hot topic. We're not gonna talk too long. I did a review on my channel. I don't think Brian or Jeff did though, but we're gonna talk a little bit about Scream 7, guys. So nothing too lengthy. I kind of just want to get your thoughts. I knew a little bit from Brian because I went and saw it with him. But I like to let it marinate with me.
Yep.
Just I write my review and let it see what everybody else is saying. I don't know. I feel like it's been very divisive. I mean, a lot of people are saying they hate it. But even with the audience score, like when you're looking at it on Rotten Tomatoes, it's like I think a 38% audience, but the or critics, and then the audience is like a 78 or something like that. And I can totally see from like watching other YouTubers and stuff like that, the issues that there were in the film. But I still had a bunch of fun with it. I mean, do not get me wrong. I'm spoiler alert. If no one saw it, we're spoiling everything. But the killers, who they are, I'll just say it. I'm like waiting to say it, but spoiler alert. The killers in the film, which are Ethan Embry and Jess or whatever her name is.
Anna Camp.
I don't remember their names. They're the worst, 100%. They're the worst killers, the worst motives, worst killers, worst third act, whatever. There's nothing for me to say that's good about that. But I don't know. I had a lot of fun with, the kills were great. I love the dynamic that, Sydney being a mom. I loved her daughter. I do think that some of the characters were a little dry. I didn't know much about McKenna Grace. I didn't know much about Chloe, who I think she worked in the restaurant. But I don't know. I just let me know what you guys are thinking. Like I don't think it was the worst in the series. Let's put it that way. Nothing redeemable about the ending with the killers and stuff. But yeah. So what are you guys thinking?
Jeff, you want to go first?
I mean, I can. Shameless plug. I was on Luke's channel last night and we talked for like almost 2 hours, just spoilers. And then we ranked the series and stuff.
Okay.
I liked it the most out of everybody that was there.
Okay.
I know Luke hated it.
Yeah.
Luke was
Luke was harsh.
They all put it very low on their ranking. In terms of like where I put it at in the franchise, I'm gonna say it's pretty much right down the middle.
That's what I said. I'm like,
but I said it to them last night. And I don't know, maybe they're not big Friday the 13th guys. This is the New Blood.
Sure,
this is the New Blood.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like this is the new blood of the Scream franchise. And when you're 7 in, it's to be expected.
Yeah, it's hard to make.
I honestly thought it was going to be way. I honestly thought it was going to be way worse going into it. Leprechaun 7 sucks too.
Leprechaun.
The only 7 that's decent is Halloween 7.
Oh, H2O.
Yeah.
But by the time you get to the 7th one, they're usually not good at all. And at least Scream 7 was a pretty good film. It's just that last 10 minutes really kill it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the rest of the film was all fun and just like any other Scream movie to me. And I think they could have fixed it with one thing. She could have been Stu's sister. Boom. Sure. There's motive enough. There's a better motive.
Right.
And that would have at least fixed. I think that would have fixed a lot of people's issue with her motive. Because the motive is kind of, I don't know, right on the nose.
I like that. But I feel like the family angle has been played out a lot because you had obviously with Emma Roberts, but then you also had the half brother.
I mean, family every time.
Yeah. Then in Scream 6, it was the family member of Jack Quaid's character, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So like I feel like they kind of overplayed the family a little too much.
It's been like that in every single one, right?
Well, no, because the first one was the boyfriend, right?
Yep.
They weren't related, and then the second one was a family member.
It was the mom, and then the third one was the brother, and the fourth one was the niece.
Yeah. So
I mean, it's been family every time except for the original.
Yeah.
That's why I say like that would have been at least.
Well, and 5 wasn't family because they were just that was the toxic fandom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which they kind of did the toxic fandom again.
Right.
And so that's probably my biggest complaint is that they could have shown something different. It doesn't have to be toxic fandom and family all the time.
Right.
But but I still think that her motive just wasn't quite like being Stu's sister or something along those lines would have at least been better.
It would have been better because it was the weakest of all the motives out of all 7 films. I watched all of them leading up to it, and 5 and 6 were first time watches just like last week because I'd never seen those. I don't think there's really a terrible movie in the
franchise.
And I know like we were talking, like you were saying, like it's hard to make really 7 good movies. I think to me, the perfect franchise, and it's not even that perfect, is Mission Impossible, because even part 2, which is the worst one, isn't that bad. It's still a lot of fun.
It's so fun.
Yeah. So like, if you can make 7 decent movies, it's a win. I do rank 7 last, but I still gave it 3 stars. Like, it's still a good movie.
Right.
I mean, if 7 is your bottom, I think you're still doing pretty good as a franchise.
Exactly.
To me, there's only 2 other franchises in horror that are that consistent, and it's Phantasm and Evil Dead. Those are the
Evil
only
Dead's,
two.
yeah,
Those
very
are the
good.
only two other franchises that are consistently good all the
Mhm.
way through. Like,
Yep.
if you, well, I say consistently good. If you like them, you like them all. If you don't like one of them, you probably don't like any of them.
Yeah.
So consistency in terms of you pretty much know what you're getting into with one of the films.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And that's good when franchises can do that and they don't try to jump the shark.
Yeah.
Right.
I do feel like the theme of the last 3 Screams, though, was like a really strong, solid first 2/3 and then kind of a weak last act.
Yeah.
And I, again, Scream 5, I still gave it 4 stars. I just did a video on that. It dropped today because that was my 52-week movie challenge for Courtney Cox week. I still gave it 4 stars, but I still think that the toxic fandom around that was still not a great motive. Jack Quaid was fantastic. I hated Mikey Madison in it, but
I didn't like her in it at all.
Yeah, she was annoying.
There's like for lack of a better term, there's like the straight guy and the crazy person, if that makes sense. So Mikey Madison is doing like the Matthew Lillard, like she's going 10 and like
but Matthew Lillard did it right. He wasn't annoying. He was great. He was hilarious.
But I think I said in my review that had this come out as Scream 2022, like had this come out as the 5th film, people would have liked it so much more. Again, not talking about the ending or anything like that, but if we didn't have, these 2 films with obviously with Sam and Tara, Jenna and Melissa Barrera not in this, and you're kind of written in a corner where you're like, well, what can I do with this? I have to have Mindy and they were good, obviously, but I have to have Mindy in this film. I have to have Courtney Cox, and I kind of like too with Gail, like she didn't get stabbed 84 times like she did in Scream 6. Like when she's in that apartment with her new boyfriend, and then the boyfriend gets killed, and she gets stabbed, and she kind of goes to.
She's also been shot a bunch.
Well, yeah, she kind of gets so injured and stuff like that, and I kind of like how she was off, and we're like, give this woman a break. She's 50-something years old. Like I like that. I like choices where they did this in I Know What You Did Last Summer, but how she goes back to the my goodness. Nev Campbell's daughter, Isabel May, goes to the coffee shop that Nev Campbell works at. And they use the technology where it's like, oh, we're using FaceTime and you got to put the AirPods in and to hold the gun, and I'll talk you through shooting the gun and all that stuff. So I kind of liked how it was written. When I saw a lot of people going like, a lot of things were written badly, but I do think there were Kevin Williamson kind of, integrated technology well. And, the kill at the McKenna Grace getting sliced in half was really gross and gory and stuff like that. And
this is the goriest one.
Yeah. Yeah. It was
by far.
That was really good.
I think they started in 5. They really started kind of bringing up the brutality level. I kind of mentioned that in my video that I dropped today. And I think they just kind of kept building on that throughout the last 3.
Oh, I think they had to when when Terrifier comes out in 2016 and makes everybody whatever, and then 2022 we're like, okay, we really gotta make them, because they were gory the first 3 films, but they were nothing what they are now. But even you see, it's funny because I have this yin and yang where it's like I really did like the intro with like the super fan and the Airbnb, and his girlfriend's not really into it, but then you think about it and you're like, well, in Scream 6 we go to the movie theater or whatever you want to talk about, and it's got it's got the TV that Stu has, and it's got the robes from all the Ghostface, and it's like we have all those callbacks. And then Scream 5, it's like, well, the party at the end is also at Stu's house, so it's like one of those things where it's like I don't know, it's like I like the intro, but then I'm also like, I don't know, I didn't really love it, because again we go to Stu's house in the end of Scream 5. So it's this weird thing, and it's also that thing where it's like, obviously again a year ago, it wasn't like a month ago or a week ago, a year ago, they told you that Scott Foley and Matthew Lillard were going to be in it, which was just all out desperation.
Yeah, they shouldn't have done that.
Draw all this business and all that stuff, which I think was a really dumb idea. But it's also
they probably had to, because of all the controversy around losing Melissa Barrera and Jenna Ortega.
But I don't know, speaking devil's advocate here, I don't know that the writing needed to be like, hey guys, it's Stu, oh my goodness, this, that, whatever. It's not Stu, like, they kind of really pointed it in all those directions, and then we were like, well, it's not really going to be like, even when he points, Ethan Embry goes, bring out Stu, and it's Jess, you're like, kind of like too much, like, pulled the rug out from under us. But I'll stop ranting. I don't know if you guys want to add anything.
I was going to say, I think I mentioned to you, Adam, when we left the theater, is that what I'm glad they didn't do, because I thought about it while we were watching it, is that the killer was going to end up being Gail. And I'm glad they didn't go that route, because I kept thinking, because she wasn't in enough, and there was the tremor in her hand. I was like, something's gonna happen. They're gonna show like Ghostface gonna have the tremor. It's gonna be her. And like, I'm glad they didn't do that, because I would have hated it even more.
Right.
And it would have done kind of the same thing that the new I Know What You Did Last Summer did with.
Oh, it was horrible. I don't know if you saw that, Jeff. The new I Know What You Did Last Summer.
No, I didn't even bother.
Good.
I'm not actually a big fan of the originals. Like I like Scary Movie mainly because it pokes so much fun at the original.
Right. Oh my God, we hit a boot. Where's the It's amazing.
Now I wonder, so if we didn't, as film lovers, I guess that's the easiest way to put it. We love film. If we didn't know all of the behind the scenes issues, would we be as critical of this film as we are? Because I will tell you what, I think that I didn't follow any of it. I didn't know. I don't know nothing about none of the actor. None of that. I don't pay attention to that kind of stuff when it's a movie that I know I'm already going to watch. I don't really care about the behind the scenes stuff leading into it. I'll judge it for what it is when it comes out. So I didn't know about all the people that were like basically like saying they weren't going to go watch it. You know, they were like, "Oh, we're not watching it. We're against this. We're all for, you know, this actress." And like I didn't even know that was a thing. So I'm wondering, like, because of that, and people have that knowledge, do you think that maybe it's looked at a little more harshly because of that? Because people already kind of went in with a certain, taste in their mouth.
I think for me personally, I think it was the switch up of it. Like, if this film just came out by itself, I know that doesn't make any sense, but if it just came out by itself, then it wouldn't have such a big issue. But the problem is, we did 2 movies invested with these 2 characters as the lead, and now they're gone. So it's the same thing as Halloween Ends, which I would complain as much.
I actually rate 5 and 6 worse than 7.
Okay.
I didn't like when they made the pivot to that. And the thing that offended me the most about 5 was that they brought Nev Campbell back as a cameo character. And they did my boy Dewey dirty. So like I haven't been like the biggest fan of new Scream anyways. So to me, it didn't really bother me. I was kind of just happy that Sydney was back.
Right.
Yeah, I think bringing her back was
because I didn't pay any attention to really what was going on with the actresses behind the scenes and all that. None of that. I didn't have any of that outlook going into it. And so I'm wondering,
I'm sorry. She's the main sort of character, Jeff. I mean, in Scream, like you were saying, Jeff, in Scream 5, she's like a cameo. In 6, she's not in it. Yeah. So we go back to Scream 4, and she's really kind of not the main character. So really, since like Scream 3, she hasn't been like the main character. So that's a really good point that you were bringing up too. Yeah. So for me, it's just, there's 2 films that we're focusing on these 2 people, and now we're like, oh, it's.
I mean, and I totally get that, because I know so many people that were invested in them, but I barely know who those actresses are that play them characters. Like, I don't follow Jenna Ortega. That girl's too young for me to care about as an actress. Like, if she does a good role in a movie that I like, okay, kudos to you. But I'm not going to follow you and become obsessed with your filmography, because you're like my kid's age almost. Like, is the way that I like. She's closer to my kid's age than she is my age. So like I kind of am like that just in general. Like, when it comes to how I view like actresses and all that. So I don't get it super invested in those. But like I said, I didn't watch Scream 5 when it first came out. I was kind of pissed when they brought it out and it wasn't 5 cream, like it just they didn't put 5 in there anyway. They just called it Scream. And I'm like, I don't like that. And I know that they're meta and all that. So I didn't watch 5 until right before I went to go watch 6 in the theater.
Yeah.
And I went and watched 6. And I went and watched 6 in the theater, and I watched it with my son, and I had a pretty good time with it until I got home and the internet tried to kill my excitement for 6. I mean, that seems to be what the internet likes to do at Scream in general, is kill your, like, if you have some excitement for it, you're going to kill it for you.
Well, so like, I don't think it impacted my thoughts on Scream 7, the whole like controversy stuff. Like I knew about it, but I didn't go into this with any like hatred of it because they didn't bring that back. I thought 5 and 6 were good. I think there was a little bit of investment in those characters. To Adam's point, they at least kind of mentioned the events of 6 and mentioned the events of 6 and how like Neb wasn't there in New York. I thought the New York setting was pretty stupid. Like you have two people that are trying to like move on and change their lives, and they move to the most populated city in America to like,
yeah.
So I thought that was kind of a weird plot point in part 6. I still enjoyed both of them.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't think the controversy around it really impacted my thoughts on part 7. I'm 100% glad that Neb was back. So
right, which I'm glad that I do hear people saying that, because when you watch some of the big YouTubers that are talking about it, they want to bring up the controversy as if it's part of the movie.
Yeah,
and why they're reviewing the movie the way they are, and I'm like, I don't care about that. Like, I care about the film.
Yeah,
that's what. Like I said, I had fun with it. The last 10 minutes are probably the worst 10 minutes of the entire franchise.
Sure,
for sure.
In my opinion,
like we could all agree on that.
Like, they could have just changed a few things, you know. Like, oh, I killed him because he was gonna be like his dad.
Right.
What?
Right.
Yeah.
Like, no mother's gonna.
There's also no red herrings about like her reading the book or anything. Like they kind of do a Friday the 13th with Betsy Palmer, like Mrs. Voorhees. They kind of try to pull the rug out from under you because Ethan Embry shows up 50 minutes, an hour into the film, and you're like, okay, you don't know. And while you're watching it, I've only seen it once, but while you're watching it, you're like, well, it can't be her because she's dead, and it can't be her because she got stabbed, and it can't be him because whatever. So they kind of do the like, you know, they try to out meta themselves, if that makes sense. And yeah, so again, you're like, wait, who's like the, you know, Ethan Embry or whatever, and what was her motive and stuff like that. And it's just kind of like she read the book, but same thing to your point, Jeff, if they put something about her reading the book or something here, or just a couple more lines or whatever, it would at least had to connect the dots or something, to just go like, oh, it's just the neighbor. Like, okay, like, you know. So, but I do want to see, what is Dave saying? Dave's got a couple questions here. He says, hey, John, are you going to see the Passion of the Christ sequel that's coming out next year? That's being directed by Mel Gibson, and I guess it's going to be a 2-part movie. I didn't know there was a sequel. I don't know.
I mean, maybe. I like Mel Gibson, so.
I tell you what, Flight Risk was not good, though.
I still need to see that.
No, but it was super fun. Like, Mark Wahlberg was a nut.
It was
I probably won't watch it again, but
yes, I need to check it out.
Fun for a one-time watch.
It's a remake,
Grace, man. That dude just can't get a role to save his life.
I've actually lost interest in seeing Scream 7 in theaters. I've already pre-ordered the 4K, so I'm just gonna wait and get. Yeah, no worries. You can always watch it when it comes out. The exclusive edition with the bobblehead. Oh yeah. So this is
actually it's this thing. It's something very similar to this. Mine's like a red special edition, but it'll be a white. It'll be a white ghost face, but it's the Handmade by Robots company.
I pre-ordered the Steelbook.
Is the Steelbook the one with the orange face?
It's the one that he's opened up. That he opens up.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. It looks cool. It looks cool.
Yeah.
Like I would get it, but I don't have any of the Scream movies on 4K. I still have I haven't bought anything past 4. I'm waiting for just like a 7 or 8 film set on 4K, which we may not ever get.
Yeah.
Isn't 4 supposed to come out on 4K, or is that just a rumor?
Right now it's just a rumor. Right now it's just a rumor, but I'm pretty sure Lionsgate Limited is gonna.
It's the only one that doesn't have the Steelbook yet.
The only one, yeah.
Yeah.
So I definitely need. But you know what's funny? Speaking of 4, real quick, I've seen a lot of people giving love to this. I have not seen this in like, I don't know, 5 years, 6 years, something like that. And I was just like, at the time, it was like the black sheep of the family. But I feel like it's aged well, and I'm excited if a 4K comes out to own it. But you know, because 3, I mean, I feel like most people, with me included, like I feel like 3 is the worst, or 6 or something. But yeah, I definitely really want to go back and watch 4 whenever they come out with a 4K. Because
my only worry with 4 on 4K is, and we talked about this a little bit last night on Luke's channel. They hadn't thought about it, but they said my description of it was almost dead on. half of the movie feels like it was made for MTV with the way that it's lit.
Yep.
And the way that some of their, I can't remember what that's called, but the way they're staged. Like I was in theater, so like, but you know, like the way they were staged, like it looks like it's more like set up like a glorified Jersey Shore episode.
Oh yeah,
in some
yeah,
shots.
That's a good point.
Some of it's way too bright for a screen movie, and they spend way too much time in a barn. But it's fun.
Yep.
But I just don't know how well it's going to translate looks wise. You know,
I don't know. We've
got Joel.
We've got Joel. Dark
Reviews.
man. Evening, fellas. He says, "I don't own Scream 6. Have you seen it though? Have you seen it though, Joel? We also have the orange one is the exclusive edition with the bobblehead. Dave is also not a Dave. Listen, Dave's a big horror fan. He's got. He just saw what was the one he just? I think he just bought Child's Play on Steelbook in our group chat.
He did, yeah.
So he just bought Child's Play. He just saw, what was the other thing he just saw? Send Help.
Send
Dave,
Help, yeah.
2026 is the year of horror for Dave, and I'm so proud of him.
Send Help was great.
Joel and Joel. Yeah, we saw, Brian and I saw that as well. I had so much fun.
I loved it. I thought it was great.
But let's go a little bit, what are we? Is there anything you guys kind of want to see coming up? I mean, The Bride, speaking of what Luke's going to see, I'm a little interested. I feel like that's kind of getting bad reviews, but you got Maggie Gyllenhaal. You've got, I mean, I love Christian Bale as Batman up there. So, I mean, I'm kind of excited for that. Not Send Help. Geez, what's it called? Oh my goodness. Ready or Not 2 is coming out in like a week or so. That should be good. So I don't know if there's anything on your guys' radar for the rest of March.
I just wish I had a way I could watch Ready or Not. It's
I need to see that.
It's a crying shame. Like I don't have it, and there's nowhere for me to go watch it unless I buy it for like $20 digital. The Blu-ray's out of print, and it's not streaming on any platform.
Nah, there's a Blu-ray on Amazon, $24.49.
24 for a Blu-ray.
I'm not paying $25 for a Blu-ray.
That's
unless it's a boutique label. It better have that Scream Factory stamp on it, you know?
No, it's just I don't think it's a Scream Factory now.
No, it's a standard 20th Century Fox. It's out of print.
Yeah.
Because the last time I went to go try to buy it new, it was like $70 some on Amazon.
I wonder if they'll get a 4K release with part 2.
I was actually hoping that they were going to reprint it leading up to part 2.
Yeah, because I've never seen it.
I know I can't be the only person that really wants to see part 2, but like, what's the point in seeing part 2 if I ain't seen part 1?
Yeah.
Right.
Like the trailer for part 2 looks really good to me, but part 1 just kind of flew by me. I just missed it somehow.
Yeah.
And now it's like, why would I see the sequel before?
Right.
Yeah, I'm not going to see the sequel before I see the first.
And I don't spend $20 on digital movies.
No.
Right. No, it's expensive.
Project Hail Mary is probably tops this month. I already pre-ordered my ticket for that.
Is that like mid-month?
It's the 20th is when
I'm just following the 52-week movie challenge because the Ryan Gosling week is the week that's supposed to come out.
Yeah, that's the week I'm going to watch it. Yeah, so I'm seeing it that Friday. What's Undertone? I think I'm seeing that in a week or two. Whenever that comes out.
I gotta see a trailer for that. Everybody keeps talking about it.
It looks good. Yeah, it looks good. It's interesting.
What's it
about?
What genre is it?
It's horror.
It's horror.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, it's like two people listening to like recordings, and they're like hearing like kind of like paranormal. Things. So it looks interesting. I do want to see The Bride. I'm not going to get to go see it this weekend because we're going down to Monster Mania, but yeah, I don't know what else is coming out this month. Those are like the kind of the top 3, I think.
Oops. Are we?
Yep. We hear you.
Did I lag?
You lagged a little bit. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. We all, our screens all went dark, so I wasn't sure if it was me or somebody else, but
no, it was you.
My fault. I sent a thing to my buddy. Speaking of Project Hail Mary, it says Project Hail Mary does not have a single green screen shot. All those were sets everywhere in the ship is real. That is amazing. So that's such.
I think somebody said that in one of our chats. Yeah, somebody sent that in. Yeah, I think it was Mike. Michael sent it in one of the chats about that. Yeah.
Yeah, that entices me to want to go see it even more. That I think for March, that's the only movie that's high on my list to go see.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saving all my money for the first weekend in April. I'm taking a whole family to see Mario.
Oh, nice.
And we're going out of town to do it. So that's
nice.
That's like 6 movies for Dad, you know.
Yeah.
But I'm excited. That's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm gonna go see it on the big screen, and hopefully we'll go see it in 3D.
Nice.
The first one was so good.
I liked it. I enjoyed the first one.
First one was great. Yeah. Brian, we're not talking about the 90s one. We're talking about this one.
No, I know. I like that one. The 90s one is a classic, but
I don't know.
I like the 90s one too. It's all we had, man. It's all we had.
Yeah.
Well, we were tough in the 90s. We watched that was just a drug acid fueled. I don't know what that was. The Koopas and all that stuff. But is it controversial to say that either this or Sonic is like the best video game movie? I mean, you guys might say like Mortal Kombat or something that we grew up with, but
it's either that one, Sonic, or maybe the Detective Pikachu.
Detective Pikachu was good, yeah.
Only because it got so much right with what it did with the Pokemon. I actually think so. Everybody talks about how bad video game movies are, but I actually think that if you go back to when Detective Pikachu come out, pretty much every video game movie that's come out since has been very good in capturing what the game was.
Yeah.
I think some moviegoers don't like it because they don't have any tie to the game. But people that like the games usually like the movies, and they're pretty true to the source material. You know, we've gotten 2 good Sonic movies, or 3 good Sonic movies, and a TV show. We're getting Mario movies. We're getting Zelda movies now.
I can't wait.
We're getting a Gears of War TV show or movie. We're getting a God of War TV show. That Fallout show is off the charts. The Last of Us was good to a point. So you know they're doing a lot of good justice for video games in film. I just think that some people that really love film need to give some passes for video games being translation. I think some of the things that people are so hard about with films in general, they need to be a little more forgiving when trying to translate a video game into a movie.
It'll be interesting to see what they do with the new Street Fighter this year, because that's on my anticipation list.
I think it's super campy. I think it's going to be super campy. But
I mean, the original, the one from '94 was super campy. Was Jean-Claude Van Damme as Guile?
I'm so there for it. Like I seen, they had the one with the Cody Rhodes, and he was acting goofier than hell. And I was like, yeah, I think I'm going to be here for this. Like, I think they're going to do all like the graphics and stuff. Like when you're playing the game and like the graphics kind of pop up behind you when you win. I think they're going to go all out and do that kind of thing with it.
All right, I'm in. Yeah, I mean, I liked the newer Mortal Kombat, and I'm looking forward to Mortal Kombat 2. I mean,
they're way more grounded than I think the Street Fighter. I think the Street Fighter is going to go all for it. Like, I don't think if you're going in for a movie that's grounded, you're going to be highly disappointed, I think, with Street Fighter. But if you're going in for a really fun, big ensemble cast just kicking each other's ass, you're going to get that with Street Fighter.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I had fun
fall,
with
right? October for that one?
Yeah, later this year. I don't know the exact month, but yeah. But I mean, the one from '94, like super campy. I enjoyed it for what it was, for a mid '90s. I was like 14 when it came out, so like I was all in. I was playing Street Fighter on my Super Nintendo. Like,
I mean, it was so good they made a game based on the movie, based on the game.
Yeah.
Well, Jeff, I would love to pick your brain, man. We can transition a little bit to the video game talk, but I love what you just said there. What do you think changed in the last 5 years, 10 years? I guess Sonic was pre-COVID, 2019, 2018, 2020. What do you think changed in the last 5 years or so that made studios adapt more video games into movies, and why did they start becoming good?
I think that they decided to go for video games because they've started to have a hard time finding original content to bring to film. We were stuck in that remake era for about 15 years, from about 2001 to about 2016 or 17. It was just Every horror franchise had a remake. Love story movies had remakes. Like, it just didn't really make any sense. Like, they were remaking everything. And I don't necessarily think that they've gotten all that much better. I think that traditional movies have gotten worse. So people kind of are more forgiving for what's being translated from a video game to a movie. Now I think that they've gotten better as a video game lover, but I don't think they've gotten so much better that they should be making a movie on every single video game now, but any more than they should have been doing that when I was a kid in the 90s. I don't think that they're better, just like they're that much better that we need all of them now. We needed them in the 90s when people thought they were bad, because I like the ones from the 90s. I like the Street Fighters, I like the Marios. Like, they're not the best. The original Mortal Kombat still is one of the best video game movies.
Don't you dare talk bad about Annihilation.
I even like Annihilation.
I love Annihilation. It's fun as shit.
I hope. And I know I am in the minority, but I think Brian's right here with me. I actually hope the Arrow announcement, because Mortal Kombat's their anniversaries were 1 year late for one and 1 year early for the other. So I actually hope that Arrow box set is a box set for two of them.
I really hope.
I think it's a chunky box for both.
Yeah,
because they've done it with the Wrath of Titan movies,
Conan,
and the Hellraiser movies, and the Psycho movies. It's like, the ones that aren't going to sell on their own, we're going to throw them with the ones that will.
They did
sell.
It with Conan.
And they did it with Conan. Yeah. So I think that I would love for them to do that, because I actually really like Annihilation. I remember the first time I sat down with my grandpa, and he was like, "Look, I just got the laser disc for the new Mortal Kombat." Wow. And we sat down and watched Annihilation, and that thing blew my mind. They had all my favorite fighters from the game. Like, the story wasn't the best, probably, but like, I don't know, 10-year-old me didn't care.
Right.
I was seeing like all my favorite fighters. What I think, though, I think the reason why video game movies are probably starting to get better, or the video game content to film. Yeah. So I got those in a double pack, I think, but they're separated, but they came together. Like, they sold them shrink wrapped together.
Autograph.
They're so good.
Yeah, I had at Chiller, Keith Cook was there last year. So he played Reptile and Sub-Zero. So he was Reptile in Mortal Kombat and Sub-Zero in Annihilation. So I had him sign both. So
love it.
Super cool. Super nice guy. So if we do get the Arrow release, I'm not going to get rid of these. I'm just going to get the Arrow release.
Well, the Arrow doesn't come with the Blu-rays anyways. So, if you have a bedroom that doesn't quite have a 4K player, but might have a Blu-ray player, that's why I hold on to my Blu-rays.
Yeah.
I've actually got some tabs that have glue on the back of them that are these tabs I've been putting in my Arrow 4Ks to put the Blu-rays in the cases, so I can slim down shelf space but still keep my Blu-ray house. Obviously, cool. You're not going to do that with yours because they're signed.
Yeah.
But I regularly do that with my Arrows. I did it with my Demolition Man as well, because I'm not going to let not having a 4K player in a certain room stop me from watching Demolition Man.
Right.
Right.
For sure.
But no, I think the biggest reason why video game movies are starting to get a little bit better is just look at media in general. It's the same companies that own the video game companies that own the movie companies now. We have the same like 6 companies that own like everything. Like, Sony has their foothold in everything, and they're like they're making sure that their game property isn't being done wrong. So I think that these game companies are actually putting executives in place correctly nowadays to make sure that their intellectual properties are not squandered, I guess is probably the best way to put it. Because the only bad video game movie I've seen recently in the last couple years was the new Silent Hill.
Oh, the one that just came out?
Yeah. And I didn't go see it in the theater. I did pre-order the Steelbook, so I didn't feel bad for watching it on my buddy's Plex. I didn't cancel my my steelbook, because I do, as a video game lover and a movie lover, I am trying to collect all the video game movies. I don't care format, just try to get all the video game movies. So I won't cancel it. But I'm glad that I just went ahead and watched it on his Plex, because I was going to have to drive 15 minutes further than the length of the movie to see it. And I think the ride back would have been a very salty ride back. So,
well, look, Jeff, you're obviously a big horror fan as well in video games. What are we thinking about the new Resident Evil coming out with Zach Cregger's in a little bit? I want to hear your thoughts. I own all 6. I do not own and have not seen the newest one. But please let me know what you're thinking. Oh, he's ready. He's like, wait a
minute. So I love the director. He does great work. I don't like what he said he's going to do with Resident Evil. I am going to tiptoe into that one because he said that he is going to make it his own.
Oh boy.
And every time I've heard that from Resident Evil, I've not been happy with it. I have those films. I gave that set to my son when I got, you can see it kind of over my shoulder here on my shelf, the big umbrella symbol. Over here. I got the 4K box set. So I gave my son that one because I'm like, here, everybody needs the Resident Evil films. They're not good, but everybody needs them.
Brian needs
Plus, like, I like, in terms of like the Resident Evil films, I like them for the fun that they are. But I really wish they were called something else, because to me, they're not really Resident Evil films. The first one is kind of the closest to feeling like a Resident Evil game, but they don't even really bring anything in. Now, the one that you haven't seen, Adam, everybody shits on it, but I love it. I loved it. Yeah. Some of the acting was subpar, but the acting in the video games are super cheesy. Like, if you go back and you play the original Resident Evil games on the PS1, all of the voice acting is so cheesy. They play into the B horror movie cheese on purpose. I loved Welcome to Raccoon City. I'm disappointed that so many people disliked it that they have to reboot it again. I think the pacing was slightly off, but I think that if the director and all the actors got the chance to come back, there are things they could have fixed to make a sequel to that even better.
It's interesting you say that about Zach Cregger's, because I think infamously, Paul W.S. Anderson said something like he didn't want to, I don't know, he didn't do it, obviously, but he didn't want to adapt the video game into this story, and that's why he kind of made up his own thing. So he kind of is doing, Zach Cregger's is now doing the same thing from what you're telling me that Paul W.S. Anderson is. He's like, I want to do my own story, which is very surprising. But I also want to ask,
it's not worked anytime they've done it with Resident Evil, because they did it with the TV show as well. They had a TV show on Netflix. No, and I actually really liked the TV show for what it was. And it was more forgiving once you got to the end of it and you realized what was really going on. I'll go ahead and spoil it because it's been out like almost 4 years now, and nobody's probably going to get on Netflix to go watch it. But basically, the whole town and everything that's going on there is a big experiment from Raccoon City on clones.
That's it.
That's it. That's really all it is. And when you get to that and you realize that, because the biggest issue that the video game people had with the show was that I love the actor that they had, the main actor. He's passed away now, but he played Wesker, and everybody said, well, Wesker is a white guy. Why did they cast a black guy in a role when there are black characters that they could have just done a story around them in Resident Evil rather than the same trope? But if you get to the end of the series, I don't think it was only 8 episodes long. I think most people watched like 2 episodes and was like, this ain't for me. But when you get to the end and you realize that he's a clone of Wesker, everything else about him and his stature and the way he acts is exactly on point with who Wesker is in the video games.
Now, I'm pretty sure there's a new one coming out. Requiem or something? Resident Evil Requiem, is that are you excited for that? Did that already come out?
It is out. I am
my goodness.
I am playing it right now.
It's
the only game I'm playing right now.
Okay. How's it going so far?
I love it. I just don't have enough time. I just started a new job, a new position at work. And so I don't have a lot of free time to play, which is another reason why I'm glad I got this for the Switch too, because I don't have to have the TV free. I can play it for 15 minutes before I go to bed. I can play it for 15 minutes in the morning before I go to work and not have to worry about turning on my TV and loading all that up. I'm only about 4 hours into what I believe is about a 10-hour game.
Okay.
I always play Resident Evil slower than everybody else I know. So this is probably more like a 12-hour game for me because I check all the nooks and crannies. I read all the documents. I get all the backstory. I've been playing Resident Evil since it launched on the Sega Saturn.
Ooh,
so everybody talked about it being a PS1 game, but it was a Sega Saturn game first.
Wow.
And my uncle bought it on the Sega Saturn and we played it there. So far, it's everything that I would want in like the 9th of a series. And everybody that I know that's beat it and gotten further into the game, they say it pays great homage to the series in general.
Nice.
Cool.
You can start with this one, but you'd be doing yourself a disservice with how many Easter eggs point back to so many great moments in the franchise in general. And even though this is 9, this is more like 12 or 13 because there's a couple of spin-off series and some of those stories in the spin-off series matter in this one. Like this main character, her dad is a character in a couple multiplayer online spin-offs from the PS2.
Oh, cool.
Interesting. Okay.
So they kind of dig in the barrel a little bit to bring back a new family line in a way, but then they bring back the best character in all of them, which is Leon. So
now is that a game key card on the Switch?
It is.
Okay. So is most of it on you have to download it to your
you have to download the whole thing. But you have to do that with everything anyways. With like every console. So the difference between the game key card versus like a PS5 disc is that the PS5 disc, sometimes they don't tell you, you don't really know. Sometimes the PS5 disc has the whole game on it. You put it in, then it installs to your hard drive, SSD, whatever you want to call it, into your storage, and you boot it from your storage, and it just spins that disc one time to make sure you actually own it.
Oh, okay.
Interesting.
So the physical media for video games have been an install disc for a very long time anyways, because the discs, which this is a big issue with 4K discs as well, which a lot of people don't like to admit it, but the discs hold so much data, they can't process the data fast enough for how big these games are and how fast they load. So they have to load off of the SSD. And that's the case with the Switch 2 cartridges. The cartridges themselves aren't as fast as the internal memory. And a lot of games are built on the fact that PCs now have solid state drives. Game consoles now have solid state drives. So they put it on a game key card, you put it in, and then it downloads it from the server.
So what is and I'm naive about it. I have the Switch and the PS5, but I haven't upgraded to the Switch 2 yet. What is the benefit of getting that the physical copy of the game opposed to just buying the game digitally? I mean, you own it, but do you own it? If that makes sense, educate me.
Well, yes, because as long as you keep it downloaded, you always have it.
Okay.
You can if you just store it. Now to some people that's a nothing burger. Why would I want to keep all my games stored? And I get that. Now my benefit is I share my collection. And it's easier to share my physical game key cards than it is to share my digital games, even within my family. Like with my family, I can share my digital games. Nintendo has made it very easy to do that. Like I can just give my son my digital copy for 14 days. And then in 14 days, it reverts back to my account. So they've made it very easy to let your family borrow games. But at any time, I can take this cartridge out of my Switch 2. My son can take it, put it in his Switch 2, and just play it.
Okay.
So that's the benefit. If I get done with the game and I want to purge it from my collection, I can still go sell it. There's still some monetary value to it.
Oh, okay, cool.
That's the difference, because the game key card can be installed as many times as it needs to be installed. It can be reused as many times as it needs to be reused. The thing is that Nintendo, they've been open and honest with what you're getting. Sony and Microsoft have not been. Microsoft has not released a full game on a disc since 2018. Every physical Xbox game is just a code on the disc that pulls the game from the server. If you don't have Halo Infinite installed on your Xbox, your disc is a coaster. It has 78 megabytes of data on the disc. Call of Duty for the last 3 or 4 years now has been just a data disc. Like you buy a PS4 Call of Duty disc, it'll work in your PS4 or your PS5. It just pulls the version down because there is nothing on the disc. It is an 88 megabyte file.
That's what's
fascinating. And you want to know what makes me sick about it? The consoles will only read the version of the game from a 4K disc, so they're using an entire 100 gigabyte 4K disc for 85 megabytes. That's what makes me sick as a physical media collector, because I know that 100 gigabyte disc could be used for a movie. Or they could just store the whole game on it, because they do that, but they're not as open and honest about it. Like, they don't say on the case all the time that you need an internet connection to play this game. But Sony's been doing it since the PS4. I bought Spider-Man, the first Spider-Man game back in like 2016 or whatever on my PS4. I put it in, I installed it from the disc, and I went to go play it, and it wouldn't let me start it until the update from the internet downloaded. It was update locked. And I messaged my buddy and I said, look, it's not just my Xbox that needs it, because he used to rag on me for being like an Xbox forget. Like, I just love all video games, but he was like, you forgive Xbox too easy. I said, but your PlayStation's doing the same thing, buddy. I'm watching it happen right now.
I miss the days of cartridges that you had to blow into because there was too much dust in them and it wouldn't play.
Well, that's
something like this, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like
Tecmo. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I got a collection of old school rental boxes.
Nice.
With NES games in them that I got from my retro store.
That's
and they just got some of them got the book and manual, some of them just have the.
Well, Brian said,
but
Brian involved a little bit here. Brian, you said your first console was the NES?
Yeah.
Not even the SNES? Oh my goodness.
Yeah, the original NES back in the 80s.
Wow.
We had the little robot that went with it. There was
the
a
robot,
robot.
Yep. We had obviously the gun for Duck Hunt. The original Super Mario. Like, I don't know. It's still sitting in storage somewhere.
So how often, it wasn't just me, right? How often did you take that gun and stick it right to the screen?
All the time. I have memories of play. Like, my dad we would be playing Duck Hunt, and every time he would shoot, he would like jump, and like he kept like it was like a real gun.
A recoil.
Wild, he was the recoil. I don't know. I have that distinct memory of like when I was a kid playing those games. But yeah, I mean, I had the original. I had the Super Nintendo. We had a Genesis. I had the handheld Genesis. What the hell was that called?
The Nomad.
The Nomad? Is that what that was?
Yeah.
I had one of those. And then I had a PS1, I had a PS2, and then I had an Xbox and an Xbox 360. That's the last console I had, was a 360. And I think that's sitting in a bin in the basement because I don't play games anymore. I don't know.
You skipped.
Actually, we do have. My wife has, and she rebought one off of eBay, N64, with a couple games.
Nice.
Yeah, that's sitting somewhere. We should hook that up to see if that still plays, because that'd be
Mario
fun.
Kart 64.
Yeah, I never had an N64, so
okay.
Yeah, for some reason it was the one console. I guess I just skipped over it.
Atari
2600.
Love it.
I actually have a complete in box Atari 2600 and a complete in box NES system right up here in the corner.
Nice. That's awesome.
Like you see that Nintendo, that old white Nintendo logo kind of there up against the wall. That's actually a complete in box NES system.
Nice.
So I have a little different story. I'm not sure if you had siblings, Brian, but my I'm the youngest, and my two brothers had. So the Nintendo 64, Jeff, correct me if I'm wrong, was either 96 or 97. So I was either 1 or a couple months old. So when that came out, my brother was like 7. So so he was playing it a lot. And although that would have been my first console, I would have played it, years after it came out. So the N64, and then my big one was the GameCube. I played the GameCube. I was like 5 or 6, and I played that thing every day, all the time. 6 ways to Sunday, or whatever they say.
I didn't care about a PS2. Missed me with that. It was all about that GameCube.
It's funny, Jeff. We had the GameCube and the N64. We were Nintendo kids. And then the PS2 Slim, not the fat one, the Slim came out however many years later. And we needed, of course, you needed a DVD player. So in the basement. So we got the PS2 Slim, used it as a DVD player, and obviously like the better, the games on there that weren't on console exclusives, whatever you want to call it. Like the Tekkens, I had Tekken on there and all that stuff. Wow. And then, like Brian was said, my formative years in middle school and high school was the Xbox 360, which is massive. I mean, that was just playing with your friends with the headsets, the Call of Duties,
Call of Duty, Grand Theft Auto,
World at War, Black Ops, all that stuff were my big things. But yeah, man, the GameCube was definitely one that I'll grab a couple things if you, Jeff, want to talk about your what was your first system, or what was the game that got you into gaming, sleepovers? Go for it. The floor is yours.
So so my first console was the NES. It was my mom's. She passed it down to us, kind of deal. Like, oh, I'm gonna hook this up in your guys' room, have something to do. But and I played like Zeldas and I dabbled around on it. But the first console that I really decided I was in love with gaming was the Super Nintendo.
Yeah, I
grew up in the 90s, and as a 90s kid, the Super Nintendo was just pop culture significant.
Yeah.
Every TV show, they're playing with Super Nintendo controllers. If Roseanne can have a Super Nintendo, everybody can have a Super Nintendo. But the first game that I ever sat down and beat myself, and I'll never forget it because it is my favorite game of all time, is The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past.
Nice.
That is just, that's like the cream of the crop. Like, one of my buddies came over a couple years ago for my birthday. It was like my 35th birthday. And he was like, man, what do you want to do? Like, everybody else had already left. Like, I threw a big party. I'm like, I'm going to be 35. We're going to throw a big party. And everybody left. And my best friend stayed. And he was like, man, what do you want to do? I'm like, I want to hook up the Super Nintendo, like that little mini one. They made those classic ones a couple years ago. Said, I want to hook up my mini Super Nintendo to the projector. And I want to play Link to the Past.
Nice.
And we sat there and we beat it. And I was like,
amazing.
It's just one of those games.
That's awesome.
You just put it on. I just play through it. I love it.
I don't think I had that one with the Super Nintendo. I don't know why.
But that was we had like a Genesis, because like I had an uncle that was like 14 years older than me. So he was kind of like an older brother in a way. Like we weren't that far apart in age, to where he wasn't like an older. So he would get like the new system, like he'd get the 3DO, and all of a sudden his Sega Genesis and Sega CD was mine and my brother's. So we got the hand-me-downs, but I still have those hand-me-downs to this day.
Right.
So Brian, you said a minute ago, we need to hook that up and see if it still works.
Yeah.
I promise you, as long as it wasn't like water wasn't poured on it, that Nintendo still works. My mom's playing on a Nintendo Switch right now that I bought the day it was the very first Switch sold at my GameStop, because I worked there. I know it was.
Right.
He's still playing on it, and it has over 6,000 hours of playtime on it.
That's awesome.
Amazing.
Because it was like mine, and then I passed it down, and it's been kind of passed through the family. Nintendo makes stuff that just lasts.
Yeah, I did hook up the NES years ago, and I couldn't get it to work. And then it just went back into storage. I think it's in my brother's storage unit. So I do have I have an older brother, Adam.
Maybe some alcohol swabs on
just some clean it up a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. Them chips are older than I am.
Well, listen, guys, we're talking about the console systems, but what about the handhelds? Oh my goodness.
Game Boy. Yep.
Game Boy Color. Put some respect on that, Brian. The Game Boy Color,
I didn't have the Game Boy. I don't know if I ever had a Game Boy. I must have had the gray one.
I need a Jeff, you matching my energy right now?
No, I'm gonna do something a little bit different, but it's handheld. I'm gonna show off my my favorite handheld. Now, my first handheld was a Game Boy, a big gray one of the big gray boys. My grandma got it for me when I think it was for my 6th birthday. Great 6-year-old gift, you know. And actually, that might have been what really made me fall in love with gaming, is having your own personal thing. That's still what drives me to Nintendo and the Switch in general, is something about the just in your hands and personable. My favorite though is the Vita.
Oh my goodness.
The PS Vita. This is the best handheld I've ever played on. It's a little dusty, but it doesn't look like it is. Ooh, it's 14 years old as of the beginning of this month.
Wow.
This does not look like a 14-year-old device. You got front cameras, you got back cameras, you got back touchpads. You have an OLED screen on this thing.
That's cool.
It's playing games that look better than PS2 games.
I've never heard of that before.
How long after the PSP was that? Because I remember the PSP, but I don't remember that.
The PSP was like 2006. And it ran all the way up until this come out. This came out in 2012. This come out in February of 2012. I'll never forget, because I had just moved out on my own. Me and my now wife were living together, and we always worked opposite shifts, and we had the cheapest power bill we'd ever had in our entire life. And it was because I spent the entire month sitting in the dark playing this one, because her mom would keep us on opposite shifts. Like, her mom was our boss at work, and she would keep us on opposite shifts. So when I was home alone, all the power that was being used was my fridge running, and I had this plugged into the wall, and I was sitting there playing it in the dark. I had a $62 power bill for the month. That's what it cost to power a Vita and a refrigerator. Because that's all I did for the whole month of February that year.
So does it take like a cartridge, or what's that?
So yeah, it does take cartridges, and they made cute little cases for them. This is just one that I pulled off randomly, but like Need for Speed Most Wanted.
Nice.
And this looks a lot like the PS3 version of Need for Speed Most Wanted, but they're little miniature cases. Oh, I don't have the cartridge in there, but they have cartridges about the size of a Nintendo Switch cartridge.
Oh, nice.
Or like an old school SD card.
Yeah.
All my games are probably in the carry cases. I keep carry cases, so that way I can just grab it and go. I actually take my Vita out and about with me pretty regularly, but I don't really use my my games anymore, because I homebrewed this. So you can do homebrews, and then there's a store, I guess. It's not really a store, but you can download everything that's ever been released for this thing.
That's cool.
For like nothing now. And Sony hasn't cared about that in a really long time. They gave up on this. The sad thing is Sony stopped releasing first-party games for it in like 2014. It got about 2 years of support from Sony, and then it was an indie handheld. But the graphics on this are amazing. It's got its own Uncharted game on it. It started franchises that later moved to PlayStation 4 because they were afraid that the franchise would just die on this handheld, which it probably would have. But there's things in this that we don't even have in today's handhelds. Like, it's got motion control and all kinds of stuff. Touch screen. This is actually this is all touch back here, like touch sensitive. This back touchpad. There's like a touch plate back here.
Nice.
So there would be games that you would have to like use that as extra buttons and do something. And they built it into the games, and there's like a microphone built into it.
High tech.
This doesn't, even today, this still feels very today tech. I feel like Sony was kind of ahead of the game, but what killed it was they did proprietary memory cards, and they were expensive. Like the day I got it, I spent another $100. This was a $300 handheld.
Oh, wow.
I spent another $100 on a 32 gigabyte memory card. And then the entire lifespan, the biggest memory card they ever made for it was 64 gigabytes. So I really didn't like waste my money on day one to have a 32. For a couple of years, that was the biggest you could get for it anyways.
Wow.
But the games they're not huge, but they can be as big as like 6 to 8 gigabytes for a game because they're pretty graphic intense. Like Killzone, they made a Killzone game for it that looks better than Killzone on PS2 did, which is kind of crazy because that's one of the best looking games on the PlayStation 2.
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, look, I'm excited to see what if Corey, if you're still watching, man, we're moving. We're going. He's going forward. I'm going back. Who had the Game Boy Advance for the Game Boy SP? Look, there's no difference. There's no difference between these two except this one has a light in it and this one doesn't. That's literally the only thing. But you had to get it. You had to upgrade from this one to this one, and then oh my goodness, we're going all the way.
Oh yeah, yes,
going all the way to the DS. And as you can see, we got to go all different colors. We started off with the green in the 90s. We go to the white, the purple. We go to the red. But the 3DS, man, 2 screens, touch screen. This thing was amazing. I love this so much. I didn't get the 3DS or anything.
The DS is the second. Well, actually, I think it's the third now. It's the third best-selling video game platform of all time,
including at home consoles.
Yeah, well, you got the PS2.
Okay.
The Switch and the DS.
Oh, wow.
Those are the top 3. The DS sold something like 150 or 145 million. But I think it's because they did a whole bunch of different colors and they did different variants and Nintendo geeks like to buy multiples. But yeah, dude, the DS is off.
I had the Game Gear. I think we were talking about the Sega handheld. It was the Game Gear that I had, Jeff.
Oh, the Game Gear. Okay, yeah. See, I bought a Game Gear a couple years ago with it might even be like right back here, but it came with like a backpack, like a satchel bag, and it had all these games and everything. And I bought it from a retro game store, and they're like, "Yeah, we recapped it because they had to put like capacitors all over the board, like there's capacitors all over that board." And he was like, "Yeah, we recapped it. We put all new caps on there and everything." And I played it 2 or 3 times. I went to go turn it on a couple months ago, and it turned on, and then it died. And I think it blew a cap again. Like that's they're notorious for that.
That sucks.
Now, Adam, I don't know if you know this, but did you know that people now mod the original Game Boy Advance and put backlight screens in them?
No.
Did we lose him? Oh, he's here.
So you don't need an SP. You can just.
That's cool.
Yeah. They make screens to put. I haven't done it myself, or I probably wouldn't myself, but I haven't paid anybody to do it. But I actually have wanted to for a long time because that is the most comfortable handheld probably of all time.
Yeah,
the form factor is just
a phone. Yeah, it's a flip phone.
Yeah,
right.
It's like that one cramps up your hands.
Right.
With long play sessions. But the original never did. The original was always you were breaking your neck to get it under the light just right.
Well, you know, it's funny. The speaking of lights, this one had, if I remember, you used to have to, you bought a little attachment that you would put like right here on the side, and it was like a lampshade. It was like a, I don't know how to describe it. You would buy this squiggly little thing, plug it in there, and
Jeff has it. He's looking for it. I bet he has it.
Yeah.
I do. And they made one for the Game Boy Advance as well. But they're like little squiggly lights, and you plug them into the charge port, or the link port, and it would power it, and it would be like twisty and bendy, and you could just move it where you needed to move it.
Right. And God forbid your mom or dad or somebody who was driving the car hit a speed bump, and the light would go like this. You wouldn't be able to see what's going on. You get killed in your game. We've got
Don't be trying to play a platformer.
No. We've got the DS was pretty cool. The dual screens worked great for some games where you could have a map on one and playing it absolutely. And we've got Poison Babe at John Doe. I still have my PS Vita, and I loved playing my Vita. Amazing.
The Vita. Hey, I'm a Vita like loyalist. I have 3 of the Vita handhelds, and they even made a TV variant that you can hook up to your TV and play some of the cartridges and some of the games that don't require touchscreen. I even have one of those, and nobody I know has one of those. So like nobody liked the Vita enough to mess with it like that.
Well, look, Jeff, I'm going to show off real quick. I'm excited. I've never talked about video games on the channel. I've got a couple things I'll rapid fire real quick. I've gotten rid of, unfortunately, like 90% of my collection, but I was the biggest Tony Hawk fan. So speaking of GameCube, man, oh my goodness.
Nice.
Got the fourth one. We've got the Underground. We've got the Underground 2 with Bam right there. We've got what else do we got? We've got the best Mario sports game ever, Super Mario Strikers. This thing's probably expensive now with the manual and all that stuff.
Maybe that one it's actually on the Switch 2. They do all the classic games on the Switch, and on the Switch 2, they now have been releasing GameCube games, and that was one of the launch games that launched with the Switch 2.
Okay.
So I have seen some of the GameCube games start to go back down in price because of that, but going back down in price for a GameCube game will make it about the price of today's games. Because GameCube games have been getting into the hundreds of dollars.
Funny with right. It's funny with emulation, like, you know, in the movie world and the video game world, it's different. It's not like, I mean, you can correct me if I'm wrong, Jeff, but it's not like somebody getting it, you know, playing the original game on the original GameCube, but nobody's like, what's that?
So you're cutting in and out a little bit.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just like, I feel like people don't get on someone's case when it's like, you don't buy the original, you have to buy the original GameCube, you have to buy the original game, play on an original controller. But if nobody's like, listen, you gotta watch the Texas Chainsaw Massacre on a 4x3 TV that's this big, and it's got to be on a VHS or a Laserdisc to experience the same thing. You know, I could be wrong. Please let me know.
There are some people that would be very rude to me if I said that playing on the Switch 2 emulators that are official Nintendo emulators was good enough. There'd be people that would be shunning me and saying they're unsubscribing from me, and they're going and blocking me on Twitter, X, and all kinds of stuff. Like, there are some people that are hardware loyalists when it comes to you have to play it the way that it was originally intended.
Okay.
I'm not going to say I am like that, but my walls of video games would beg to differ. I have, so I think just in the last like 3 to 6 months, I've obtained more films than games.
Okay.
Like, I'm up in the thousands for both. And I was getting like I have an entire Wii U North American library on physical.
Wow.
Like, every disc that was released for that console in the US, I have it.
That's crazy.
How many
impressive.
How many
it's
games?
It's 165 games.
Oh my goodness.
If you include the ones that were made after the console were dead, and they were made by places like Limited Run Games, which Limited Run Games is like kind of like what you would consider a boutique label. They release games in a limited amount where they're numbered sometimes, or they're like, hey, if you don't pre-order it, you won't get it, because once the pre-order date cuts off, we're only printing this many that were pre-ordered. So and they do that kind of stuff. So that's if you count the limited run games and like I guess some people would call them fan projects, there's 165 or 166 or 7. Some people are a little touch and go on the count. I count them, but that's just because I was able to obtain them. People that can't obtain them won't count them now because they were very limited.
We've got Dave saying, John, I have a question. Can you play the Game Boy Advance games on the Nintendo Switch through the Nintendo Store?
So Nintendo doesn't actually sell the old school games. They sell you a membership. For $20 a year, they give you access to Game Boy, Nintendo, and Super Nintendo. And I think Sega Genesis. But that might be in the other plan, because that's $20 a year. And then for $50 a year, I think for $50 a year, they add in Nintendo 64, Game Boy Advance, and GameCube.
We've got Poison Babe saying, I love playing Tony Hawk 1 and 2. Just played it a few nights ago. I don't have the originals anymore. I think my brother must.
Oh, you don't need the originals with that one. You don't need the originals. Like, they did really good remastering them.
I think
that's a great set.
My favorite skateboarding game would be California Games from the NES, the original NES game.
Oh, that game was
skateboarding.
So hard.
There was surfing. There was all sorts of different sports in it. That game was fun as hell.
Speaking of surfing, oh my, Kelly Slatters Pro Surfer. Who's got this? Just me?
Just you.
I don't know. I think I played the demo. I think there was a demo on one of the Tony Hawk games.
Look, well, speaking of that, you've got the demo Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 4 demo.
It might have been on the Tony Hawk 4 game that they had the
Maybe.
demo for the Pro Surfer.
Right. I doubt Activision O2 is a thing anymore, right?
So I assume, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I've always assumed it plays just like Tony Hawk, but it's on water instead of on a skate rink, right?
Right. It plays like Tony Hawk, but it's worse.
Because I never played that one, but I did play the Dave Mirra's Pro BMX.
I played that, yeah.
Those were awesome.
Yeah.
Those played very good.
There was a BMX NES game too.
What about Skate 3, guys?
Oh, yeah.
No,
Skate 3.
I didn't have that one.
It's way better than that new one they released.
I didn't play it because I heard it was bad.
It's free. It's free. So that's all you really need to know. If it's free and they're giving it to you, how good can it be?
Yeah.
That's always my opinion on free-to-play games.
Brian's favorite band next, the Beatles Rock Band. Look at that.
Now, do you have the instruments?
No, I sold the all that crap, the whatever it was, the guitar, the drums, all that stuff.
Good for you. They take up a lot of space.
So was it like a Guitar Hero where they had like
Oh yeah, so you could play
a controller with that's pretty neat.
Well, Rock Band brought in 4 different lines because you could do they did a bass and a guitar, but then they also brought in drums and microphone as well.
Wow.
So you could do the whole band ensemble. And the drum kit's huge. Like, I think my drum kit might be underneath my desk here. I was a big Guitar Hero Rock Band fan. Every console that has a release of Rock Band or Guitar Hero on it, I have at least 2 guitars for that console with games to go with it.
Wow.
So like I have 2 guitars for the PS2, 2 or 4 guitars for the PS3, 2 or 3 for the Xbox. I was a huge fan of those games. And as I started noticing that the guitars and the instruments were getting hard to find, I would pick them up at yard sales and I just kind of hoarded them. And I'm glad that I did because they're 20 years old now and they're starting to fall apart and not work so well. And I was in Target the other day and they do make new ones for like the PlayStation 4 for Fortnite, I guess. Fortnite does it. I didn't know that.
Interesting.
But they're $150 at Target. And I was like, for just a guitar?
Ooh.
To play music on Fortnite? Like, that doesn't seem right to me.
It's funny because I had the original Rock Band and you had to plug it in. Like, that was so old. Now they're like wireless and stuff. But my brother at some point had like, when they started doing like, they had this one, the Beatles, they had Aerosmith, they had shout out Green Day. We got Green Day over here.
Nice.
So, so they used to do like limited to I think they had a Metallica at some point. So, yeah, I mean, that was
you're pulling those out, and I got all my Xbox games right here. I think Xbox is what I have all those on.
Oh my God, I used to love to play. We've got Poison Babe saying, oh my God, I used to love to play a surfing game on my old Nintendo back in the day. Anyone ever play that surfing game? I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I don't know the name. Like I said, the only one I ever played on the original Nintendo was the California games. And it was just different.
I'm gonna look up gameplay for that after we wrap up.
Lost Jeff.
I actually have a stack. I had to dig it because I have them hidden back behind my other games. I have to double stack my games. But I keep all my music games together. This is all the music games I have just for the 360.
Oh, nice.
It's DJ Hero. No way.
Yeah.
Dude.
There are 2 of those, but I only have number 2, I think, on the PS3.
Is the Rocksmith the one with the real guitar?
Yes, and I have the cable for it too. I just don't know if I have a real guitar around here.
Impressive,
anymore.
Jeff.
Dude,
we need a room
play
tour.
This garbage. Don't play this garbage.
Rock Revolution.
Rock Revolution. Every song is a cover song. There's not an original song on this.
Oh
thing.
no.
Konami was trying really hard to kind of play the music game without fully paying for the rights for the music.
Dude, I need you to
do a whole bunch of cover songs.
Yeah, we need a room tour.
I need a room tour. I need 2 things. I need a room tour and I need a video itself on DJ Hero because I wanted that. I need to be like Fred Durst or something. I wanted that so bad and I never got it. And
check your local thrift stores. Maybe you'll find one.
So my room tour will come after I hit 1,000 subscribers. That's been my tease for my channel.
Okay. You're close. You're like 100.
We have been talking about a room tour in Jeff's room for a while.
Yeah.
You're like 100 away, right?
And last year I had a few people that I've met from YouTube come in here and see my room.
Nice.
And they're like, I don't know how you do a room tour of this and it's not 2 hours long.
You got to break it up.
I have essentially, when I bought this house, it was already done, but I essentially have what used to be a garage. That is the size of my room, and there ain't a wall untouched.
Now, does
in terms of like shelving against the walls?
Is that video games and movies in one room?
Yes.
Okay.
But I do have them kind of spreading into the house. Like I only have I might have like 6 or 8 pop figures in here, but me and my wife have a few hundred. Those are in our living room.
Okay.
So they don't make it to the media room.
Right.
So when we start to collect,
Right.
And we all have, like, everybody in my family kind of has like their own little collections. Like my daughter has her own little video game and movie shelf in her room, and my son has, I've bought him like my oldest son, when he moves out on his own, he don't need to pay for a streaming service for a while. He has all of his favorite TV shows on physical, and I got him like all the Jasons and the Freddys and, you know, all the franchise box sets and that kind of stuff, and consoles and TVs, and he's good to go when he moved out on his own, type of deal. So
that's awesome.
But I have to contain it just here. And if you ask Tony from Basement Blues, I'm kind of in the same situation he's in, where I have to maybe make aisles.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome.
Tony's room is pretty impressive too.
I really want to see his room. He told me I'm more than invited, but I don't know if that was just a ha, you're more than invited, or come on down. Like, he might call the cops if I show up.
That's awesome that you've passed on, Jeff, your love of collecting to your family, to your.
I wasn't the start. It's kind of been embedded in me. Like my grandpa, I grew up with a grandpa that had walls of VHS movies, and when VHS wasn't the thing anymore, he had walls of laser discs, and when laser discs wasn't the thing anymore, he had walls of DVDs.
Right.
And he did it with CDs, and before I was alive, before you could buy home videos, he was going, you know how we go and we meet up with like other YouTubers and stuff at like cons and stuff.
Yep.
Well, back in the day, they used to have something very similar, but it was movie lovers would go and they'd pass around their bootleg films or their illegal films. And he used to collect reel-to-reels. Like, he had a copy of Night of the Living Dead before you were legally allowed to have a copy of Night of the Living Dead. And he had like a projector that my mom said he set up in the garage and cut a hole in the wall to send it through to the living room. But he had to keep it in the garage because it was one of those old school ones that was really loud. Dude, and so like I said, I was kind of born into this. I don't know if I would have actually, I don't know if I had an off ramp, you know?
That's awesome. That's sick. Yeah. That's really cool. Where'd you get the collecting bug, Brian? Was there something before movies that got you
oh yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, for me in the 80s, baseball cards.
Sure.
90s is really when I kind of started doing movies, comic books. I don't know if I mentioned it on any of the live streams with you guys, but on my channel, my dad worked for Marvel Comics for a few years back in the 90s. So I was into Marvel Comics and collecting those. I actually just sold all of them. All the ones I had, I just sold them like a few months ago. Comic books. Yeah. So I had no need for them anymore.
The
90s was.
I got a couple of Howard the Duck ones up there, but I had a buddy message me the other day and was like, "Do you like comics?" And the message popped up, and my wife's seen it. She said, "You know, your answer is no, right?" Like, I don't even have room for comics. Like, I was like, yeah. My answer is no.
It's a bit of a curse. Like with all my baseball cards and stuff, those are long gone. My VHS DVDs, those are long gone. This is really the main part of the collection. I did have a pretty decent sized Funko Pop collection. I sold all those off a few years ago before we moved to this house, just because our house before this was a very tiny 1 bed, 1 bath. Like, I didn't have space for stuff. So I sold those off. I have 5 Funko Pops left. That's it. And the only reason why I kept these 5 is because one of them is signed by Ralph Macchio. So it's the Karate Kid ones.
Yes.
So I was like, I'm not going to get rid of those. I'll just hang on to those. And they're out on the shelf next to the box set that I've showed off before. But yeah, it's been a 40 something years of going through different phases of collecting shit.
And are all your movies right there, Brian? Because I know you have so many, but they're not in another room.
They're all in here. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I have these shelves behind me that kind of L shape, and then I have 2 like wooden IKEA cases over here where I have like my my Arrow, Kino, Second Sight umbrella like releases over here, and then I have one that has just like it's like the nostalgia one. So like the VHS tapes are on there that I have, and a little Jurassic Park shelf and stuff like that. So
what happens when you finish up the room when there's no room for movies? You double stack? Do you get rid of the poster and start filling in that space with it?
Beg my wife to let me use the room across the hall.
Yes.
That's right. Who needs a kitchen? You put movies in there.
This is going to be the room we put all of our horror and fantasy movies in.
Right.
Yep. And all the Criterions are in the other room. Like
this room is VHS only, and yeah.
Yeah, well, it's funny because like this room. So this is my office too. So when I work from home, I sit over here with my computer. This is my personal computer. But my wife's office, when we first moved here, I was in that room. And she was in this room. And I'm like, well, when I get shelves, I need better wall space. And this wall was better than the one in there because there was a double closet that took up part of the wall. Mm-hmm. And this one is just, where is it? This thing, I can't point. Where the hell? The door right there is a closet.
Yeah. Oh, that's not the entrance into the room.
That's a closet. The
okay.
entrance is right next to it. So the entrance is like right here.
Gotcha.
But this wall made more sense for me to have it than my wife, so we swapped opposites.
I've seen one of my favorite things to do is to watch like videos of movie rooms or video game rooms or whatever. Brian, the next thing you could do is you take that door off the hinges and you put movies in there. That's the next thing you do.
I could. That the closet's full. There's actually some like rolled posters in there. There's actually a bunch of shit in there. So
it's like I am
make it a VHS or like
I thought about doing that with the double closet in the other office, but this made more sense for what I needed.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see what happens.
Well, look, guys, we're getting into 2 hours. It's about like 9:30ish in Jersey here, so we're gonna wrap it up a little bit. But what else can we talk about real quick? I know Jeff had an awesome video I was watching on speaking of video games, the Virtual Boy, something I never even heard of. I was like, they had a Virtual Boy thing with the goggles on his camera. He had I'm super jealous because he has a store. I don't remember the name of it, but he just did like a thrifting thing a month or so ago, and he's got this massive store in his area that I'll have to look at the name before, but I was just watching like Michael's or McKay's, right?
McKay's, yeah.
McKay's,
okay. Yeah. We don't have anything like that in Jersey.
Yeah, I wish we had some.
Well, I mean, it's not really like near me. I have to drive like 2 hours away.
Okay.
But it is a small chain of stores that are just in North Carolina and Tennessee.
Okay.
I live in North Carolina, but it's actually closer for me to go to the one in Tennessee.
Oh, nice.
Make sense, but
it's massive. It's awesome with video games and stuff like that. So I wish
you posted a video about that, Jeff.
Yeah,
I have a couple. I have a couple on my channel. There's one last year. It's going on 2 years now. Summer of 2024 was their 50th birthday, and there's a video on my channel from right around that time. Me and one of my good friends, he owns a local retro video game store, and he wanted to go on the road trip. So what they did was, if you could hit all 5 of their locations in the same day and get a stamp, they gave you $800 of store credit.
Oh my goodness!
Wow,
$800.
So we had to go all the way over to Mabin, North Carolina, and hit 5 stores all the way over to Nashville, Tennessee. And us and like 5,000 other people thought about the same thing, and we showed up in Mabin, North Carolina, and so did 5,000 other people.
Oh wow!
but it was great because it was like something they did for like their 50th birthday. It's actually how I bought my PC that I stream off of. Was
That's
I had
awesome.
store credit, and they had a PC at their Chattanooga location. So I went in there with some store credit. Like 6 months later, I'm like, I'm gonna get me a PC to do my streaming off of now. I don't have to give up my phone anymore, because I was doing everything on my phone when I first started doing YouTube, which it totally works. I'll tell anybody, hey, if you've got a phone and you've got ambition, just do it.
That's how I started.
You don't have to have the computer. Hell, I don't really do much on the computer except for the actual live streaming part.
Yeah, I do everything on my computer now because I upgraded the camera. It's like supposedly 4K, but most of my stuff is just recorded in 1080p because the 4K like slowed my computer down like crazy. But I mean, it's a pretty clear camera and I like it. So
yeah, I can't seem to get a camera affordability wise. It's as good as the camera that's in my phone. So it's like, because I got last year's Galaxy Ultra, so it's like it's not even outdated by even next year probably.
Yeah.
If I want quality, I can get quality out of it. And then there's ways I hook my good microphone right into my phone. Like there's ways to be able to use your phone kind of like a computer. Maybe that's what I should do, is a tutorial video on how to use your phone to be a YouTuber. Maybe that'll hit that 1K. Then I have to clean my room.
We got another video idea. But listen, the floor is yours, man. Where can everyone find you? What's coming up on your channel? I'm so glad you were able to hang out with us tonight, and I gained another friend through the platform. But right here, we've got Jeff, aka John Doe Juggalo. The floor is yours, Jeff.
So anything on the internet, whether it's on a game console or AOL, it doesn't matter. If you type in John Doe Juggalo and it pops up as a real person.
What's your MySpace?
My MySpace would probably actually still be John Doe Juggalo as well. Like I've been using the moniker since like 2004.
Nice.
That's awesome.
So, like as soon as I made it, like, because back in the day you were supposed to have like an online presence that was different than like your personal preference. When the internet was like a new thing. Don't tell everybody who you really are. So I just thought that was a cool name, and it flowed real well. And I've just kind of held on to it. But yeah, if you type that in any social medias, Twitter, doesn't matter, I'm there. If I don't pop up, I don't have it. Like you won't find me on TikTok. I'm too old for that. But I'm on everything else. What I have coming up, I have a bunch of haul videos that I'm the worst at editing. So as soon as I get them edited, they'll be up. And then every month, this month will be our 3rd episode. I do a monthly Criterion live stream with my good friends Johnny from What's Johnny Watching and Jason from 4K Movie Mass. 2 great dudes. We get together every month and talk about what's new with Criterion, the announcements, if we maybe picked anything up, which most people just pick stuff up on the monthly sales, so we kind of scoot past that pretty quick. And then we pull 5 titles from our Criterion shelf that we've not seen, and we make the other 2 people choose a new one for us to watch. So that way we're actually watching through our Criterion stacks rather than just stacking them. And we do that once a month, every month. That's become a regular thing on my channel. That's the only thing I know for sure. That's the only thing I'm guaranteeing that I will do. Only because I try not to overburden myself. I get overburdened if I promise too much. But that's something that we all enjoy doing, and we all look forward to doing it. So that happens usually the 2nd to last Friday of the month. It usually falls somewhere around the 20th. So just keep an eye out over there for that. I'll share it on Instagram and that kind of stuff.
Nice, dude. Well, I appreciate it.
Very
Real quick,
cool.
I'm gonna go. We've got Alex at Movie Hunter 2020.
Yo, Alex.
What's up, Alex?
Everyone. We've got some love. Nikki in the chat saying, Alex. We've got Hey Nikki back and forth. We've got Dave saying, Hey Movie Hunter. And then we've got Heya Collector Movie Man. Now we got my good buddy who we are going to Monster Mania in Cherry Hill this weekend. We're going to meet some fun people. I'm hopefully going to meet Linda Hamilton and Skeet Ulrich, and Brian's going to meet Elizabeth Shue. And with the floor, you guys already know him, but listen, we got Brian here. One of the nicest guys in the game right here. What do you got coming up on the channel? What just came out?
Well, I will say that I can't say that I'm still using the same aim handle
Oh well.
from
What's
AIM.
your Friendster?
No comment. Yeah, no, BDUBS Movie Hub, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Letterboxd. I got my 52-week movie challenge. I post a video every week for the challenge. So that went up today for Courtney Cox week. I did Scream from 2022. I just did my horror pack unboxing, first ever order from Horror Pack. I have 2 more boxes on the floor that I still have yet to open, and the rest of the shit that I got in February. So I got to record that. Those will probably come out maybe next Tuesday, depending on how the weekend goes. We got Monster Mania. This will be my first time going to Monster Mania, so I'm really looking forward to that. I think you said Elizabeth Shue, so I'm hoping to get her to sign a Karate Kid poster. Who else am I trying to meet? I'll probably try to meet Linda Hamilton, Edward Furlong, and Thomas Jane. Looking forward to meeting Thomas Jane. I have the Deep Blue Sea poster that came with the Arrow set, so I'm going to see if I can have him sign that. But that's it.
You heard it here first. Brian and myself are going to be, we're getting paid on Friday and we're broke on Saturday because of the convention. But my shameless plug is tomorrow. I'll send it to Brian, but I'm finally putting out my Lords of Dogtown steelbook.
Nice.
He was gracious enough to give me for my birthday. I had to Scream 7 took precedent and a couple other movies took precedent, but I got it done. It's going to come out tomorrow at noon, and then stay tuned eventually for that Monster Mania video. But guys, thank you so much to everybody in the chat, and we're going to end it. We're going to hang out a little bit backstage, but have a good night, everyone.
Peace out.
Peace.
Later.